we, the founders and the business owners, are normally the monsters of our own businesses. Greetings, family. Welcome once again to yet another episode of the Afrobiz Hustle 101 show. It's a beautiful day outside. I am excited, and I believe you are too as well. Welcome for those who have been with us through the journey, through all the episodes. You're most welcome once again to the channel. And for those who have been with us but haven't yet subscribed, please don't fail to and forget to subscribe, and as well hit the like and notification button. For the new people who are joining us today on this episode, please don't hesitate to as well subscribe as well and hit the notification button. But as well, you can go back and check out some of the episodes that we have done on the Hustle channel. Now, this is your channel that talks about small businesses. It talks about hustling. It talks about founders, entrepreneurs, and as well innovation and creativity. We are super excited to be with you. My name, as always, the host, Paul Luyima, aka Jerome LP, aka the Hustle Master, and I'm super pumped and excited to be with you today. Now, having looked at some of the small businesses we can do, we have looked at some of the fundamentals that we need to put in place as we're starting our business. We went ahead and also looked at the sources of funding. How do you get that money to start the business after having looked at the idea, having looked at the fundamentals? Now, I think for me, it's very important. Now, I expect now you're in, execution mode because you've gotten funding, you have the fundamentals right, and as well, you have the idea right. So you are now in execution mode. But it's very important for us now to talk about this particular topic, this particular segment of the 7 reasons why small businesses fail, from time to time. Reason being, we don't want to talk about it then when the business has already collapsed. This is a time for us to look at these reasons why businesses fail so that we don't make these mistakes, right? And find ourselves in this predicament when the business is shutting down, you're struggling, you're stressed, you're trying to blame everyone, but when you would have done better. So today's episode, we're going to focus on the 7 reasons why small businesses fail. And just putting a disclaimer, we haven't covered everything. It's not that when you miss out all these 7 that you won't fail. There are those fundamentals which are big, which can be beyond this. Case in point, if it's, let's say, things like force majeure, when maybe, let's say, nature of God, right? We had COVID. Everything shut down. A number of small businesses were affected. People struggled. Their money sunk in. They lost money. It was a very appalling situation. We have seen geopolitics when the wars are happening. It affects, raw materials moving from place to place, which hence affects, business. So there are some other disclaimers and other fundamentals, but there are small mistakes that most founders and business owners and entrepreneurs and Afropreneurs do, which definitely affects our businesses. So this particular episode is to put a spotlight on those and ensure that we don't fall prey of such issues and such small mistakes because we have thought about them and we have talked about them. I'm just going to give you the 7 key reasons why some of the small businesses fail. I'll start with number 1. Number 1 is when you have an inadequate business plan or strategy. In simple words, having a poor plan. Okay, so most people, you have gotten your idea, maybe you're sinking in money, but you haven't looked at your plan 360. Okay, now what do I mean by this? Have you thought about the risks you have in your business environment? Because those are prone to happen. Have you thought about your end-to-end processing of your orders, of your business? That is so important as well to look at. Have you also looked at, the distribution channel you want to use? Are you online? Are you, physical? Have you communicated that to the customer? Do the customers know where to find your product? Those are very important things for you to be able to address beforehand so that you don't find yourself in a predicament. You have sunk in money, but you can't get it out because the revenue is not coming. So that's very important for you to look at as a business owner, to make sure that you don't fall prey of that, plan. You must have a 360 robust business plan so that you can be able to gag this. And then the business plan, what it helps you also to do is to also define what you wouldn't do, first of all. And then secondly, it doesn't only look at short term when you're starting, it looks at mid-term, it looks at long term. So 1 year, 3 years, 5-year plan, so that you are very clear on what you want to do and how you want to scale. So having looked at that, the second one, why most small businesses fail, is having insufficient investment or initial capital. So most of us as business owners, when we get an idea, so long as you're getting money to maybe rent the place, set up the place, you say, I'm good to go, I'll find my way. And most people get their big fingers burnt and your money lost because that is happening. So that's why it is so important for you to look at your financial plan and strategy end to end, right? So I've set up I've gotten the rent for 3-4 months, that is good. I've put up the shelves, I've put up the setting area, that is good. I do have money for the operational working capital. You have to pay salaries, you have to pay rent, you have to put on the lights on, so the electricity, the utilities. If you require water, you need to pay for water, right? You need to also have your operational working flow and capital clearly ready. So those things are very important for you to do. And then the other thing that I just need to highlight, most businesses should be based on facts, not sentiments and emotions. I'll give an example. So you're driving on the streets of, let's say, Kampala or Nairobi or Johannesburg or Abuja, and then you find that you see a KFC and you say, but those guys are making a lot of money. You say, I have some money, I'm also going to do an eatery business. It's good, you can do the eatery business, but have you thought about the facts? Have you looked at the numbers? Have you looked at their model? These are proven models that these guys have deployed, right? So you need also to be very clear on the model that you're going to do. So never run a business or start a business based on sentiment and emotions, because definitely you are burning your money, and your money never has emotions. It will go away just like that. You rather not start. If you don't have enough money, you rather not start than starting and you get stuck in the way. You have staff, you have premises, you have everything, overheads looking at you, but you don't have money to pay them. You rather not start or defer to start so that you start at the time that is right. Number 3, definitely, which is very important, is ineffective business management and leadership skills. We, the founders and the business owners, are normally the monsters of our own businesses. For starters, at times some of them run their businesses like they're running their homes. They're running them with passion instead of using objectivity. Most of them are bad people managers. You are abusive to your staff, you are brutal to your staff, you are not giving them direction but just backing at them. That is definitely a catastrophe and a disaster area, because these are the people who run your business. Now imagine if you're not there, if the guys are disgruntled, they are not happy because you back at them, what will happen? They will just chase away money. That is the first starting space. The second is that most of the business owners, because you have made a business, you feel like you've reached. Because you feel you have reached, you can't be advised, you don't take feedback, you are always abusive, you feel you know it all. That is a recipe for the disaster. So that's why most businesses, struggle because of the business owner. Then lastly, on this particular piece is that there's a problem with financial management for business owners. Most of them eat their business to the ground, right? What happens with most business owners, I have put in, say, $500 in this business, I sell this, I buy this product at $500, I'm selling it at $700, but when they tell me rent is due, I get $700 and I pay rent. But remember that amount had also your capital and the margins. So you need to be able to, differentiate the two. So because at the end of the day, then you start eating your business. Afterwards, you start saying the staff are stealing from me, these people are doing what? You start blaming people everywhere, but at the end of the day, do you have a full governance around your financial management? And do you keep a financial tracker properly? And do you differentiate between what is your principal or your capital and what is your margin, and what do you cost? What is your costing for, operational expenses? You need to be able to know that very clearly and ensure that you are very clear on that so that you have a robust management system. So for business owners who are struggling in people management, who are struggling in financial management, I urge you to either get a mentor or a coach. And this doesn't have to be someone very formal. You can have, in your circles, there are people who have done it and are doing it very well. Use those to guide you on how to do business much better, how to manage people much better, how to manage your finances much better, how to manage your operations much better, which templates to use, which tools to use. Because at the end of the day, you know that this will definitely lead your business away. And we have invested money, blood and sweat and thought in this business. So you need it to be working very well. So you need to handle your people well, you need to handle your operations well, you need to handle your customers well, you need to handle your finances very well. So that is what most business owners do if they, if they are to succeed in their business. So make sure you don't fall prey of being a bad leader or bad people manager or bad business manager. So the other, which is also a big one, is that most business owners become extremely too ambitious to scale very early and also to diversify very early. Let me give an example. So today you have a nice business that you've set up. Month 1, it has done well. Month 2, it has done well. Then you say, I want to open up another branch in another town. I want to go to Masaka. I want to go to Jinja. I want to go to, Kisumu. I want to go to Cape Town. That is okay. But at the end of the day, you have not been able to master the craft yet. You haven't had your lessons yet. 3 months is too short a time, unless you've done it before and you have experience. But if you haven't, you need to first let this business, farm up, set a foundation, get your learnings so that you scale. However much you have made money and you have money, it's not about starting too early, it's about getting it right. So you don't need to scale too early for your business, because then when you open up another branch, you have overheads now. You have to pay rent there, you have to employ staff, you have to buy raw materials, you have to create a new distribution channel. So that's why it is better to first get your learnings in and then be able to scale. There's no straight formula for when your learnings are right. You as a business owner, you can set a yardstick of this is the time when I feel now I can open up and scale the business. And guess what? It's not about the one who rushes to set up a branch in another place, because you might say they will open up another place. If they get it wrong, that's okay. But when you go and you've done the right job, you definitely excel and succeed in that. Now, I also talked about diversifying too early. When you diversify too early, is that you have a business today and it's doing very well. Maybe 3-4 months in, you say, now I need to open up another business. Totally unrelated to this one you're doing. Yes, however much this one is doing. Now you're getting good money to start another investment. I'll call it bad investment at this point, because now you're getting money from this business to give it to another business. This I have actually, and as I was sharing with my crew, that I fell prey of this when at one point when I had a very good thriving business, and then someone told me about farming, commercial farming. The numbers looked extremely very good. I was super excited. Actually, I was feeling bad that why did they take long to tell me about this? I bought about 14 acres of land, started with about 2 acres where I was doing passion fruit farming. Man, it was disaster at that time. I felt the pain, I felt the pressure, the pinch, and after the season went, I had to actually flip and walk away from that business. But it was all because I diversified too early into my cycle of business. So that's why it is not advisable to do that at any one time. So you need to be able to look at your business and be patient with it and be able to do a calculated decision. If you want to diversify, calculate that. If you want to scale, also be able to calculate that and be meticulous about that kind of thing. So we have looked at being too ambitious. We have looked at being a bad people manager. Let's go to the next. Now, the next is also another important one, which you always need to do. You need to be very mindful about the sector you're going in, because you need to run away and avoid extremely stiff competitive industries or verticals or sectors. I'll give an example. So if we have verticals like the beverage vertical, we have oil and gas, where you find that they are big dominant players in these particular spaces. Now, if today myself, I have, let's say, enough money to start, so a soft drink beverage company, I set it up, maybe I have $1 million as an example. I have set it up, but guess what? There are players that are in this industry who are holding the market, right? I won't mention names, but those players will definitely make sure that I'm choked out of the market. So in terms of their marketing ads, they can just even change a small margin, right? And that will definitely choke me out of the market. But then the other thing, for credibility, you haven't yet built credibility for the market. So it will take you long to break even, right? Same applies to oil and gas. Definitely you have the big players, and then maybe I set up Paul and Sons fuel pump. Definitely this will choke me out because the likes of the big players are definitely there and they're squeezing the market, and they will definitely squeeze me out of the market. And as well, for my friends and colleagues, for credibility purposes, however much they love me too much, you may find they don't give me that business because I haven't yet proven. They will go to the names that they know, right? And at the end of the day, it will definitely take me long to break even, to make money, and I'll shut down, definitely. So you need to be mindful about highly, extremely competitive sectors, because at the end of those, it's not about the money, it's about, are you in the right space? So you need to just avoid, and you need to protect your capital and put it where you will definitely assure that you make a lot of money from. Now, number 6 is a little bit of a combination of 3, but I'll explain. So number 6 is around poor customer experience. Now, this is the gist of all businesses. If you can't manage your customers, then there's a big problem. And this is normally driven by 3 things. The first is poor service in general, right? Your staff don't pick calls, they don't respond, they don't take long to handle, there's no after-sales service, they are rude. Basically, all those things definitely affect repeat business, affect referral business. Even the customers that you will acquire, some of them even cancel their services. So you need to ensure that you have a robust customer experience plan for your customers, for your business, any business, be it laundry business, be it sewage business, be it video business, videography business, be it even TikTok business. If you're selling on TikTok, if you're selling on Instagram, you need to make sure that when the customer places an order, the fulfillment is clear, the journey is clear, and they know how they need to expect the business and from where. So that is very important. The second on that particular piece is around bad teams. If you have a bad team behind you, I'm telling you, you are doomed as a business owner. What you need to do is to make sure that you understand the team that you run with by ensuring that they have the right attitude, they have a can-do mindset, they are ready to work the extra mile, and they are customer-focused people. Ensure that is critical. So if you have a bad team, it will lead to poor customer experience. And the last one, not having a culture for your business. So people, when they hear culture, maybe they're thinking, are we talking about tradition? No. Every business has a culture. And you, as a business leader, is the one who shapes, or he or she is the one who shapes the culture of the business. I'll give you an example. When we talk about Java House, CJ's, right? CJ's has created a very clear culture which you expect from all their branches. When you reach, they are very nice, smiling girls at the entrance who are waiting to, who usher you in up to your table. They just leave, they give you the menu and walk away. When they walk away, someone else comes to take the order. When they're taking the order, someone else is ready to also process, and it takes certain time because he has planned that culture for the customer experience. And that's a standard across. So you need to build, and this is not only for companies like CJ's, you also can do this for a business. Even though you are into a salon business, you can do this as well. If you are into say a service business, a restaurant, you can do this. If you're serving Rolex, you can also do this. Ensure that any one time you can build a culture for your teams, and demand this from all your staff, because that creates consistency, it creates a standard, and customers have can differentiate you easily because of the culture that you've built. So that is important. So most of the founders, I urge you to make sure that you eliminate poor service, because the reason why you open up every day is because of that customer. And if the customer feels poor service, definitely you are doomed as a business owner. So make sure that you deal the service experience, you deal the bad teams, and you deal the culture piece, right? Now, number 7 is when you have an ineffective marketing and sales plan. So you can do everything so right, processes, operations, everything so right. But guess what? If you don't have a proper marketing plan, where is the positioning of your brand? How do you package? How's the the PR piece? How do you communicate to your customers? Which distribution channels? Where can the customers find your product? Because even though you have done everything and they don't know where to pick the product, then how will they be able to sell? And then at the end of the day, if you don't sell, you're out, right? So a very effective marketing and sales plan is so critical. So you need to spend a lot of time ensuring that you have crafted this very well. If you need to have the sales teams, train them properly, even though you reach a point of giving them a sales script, because then they have to sound like as if they are from the same parent. You need to do that just to make sure that your sales plan and metrics is very, very clear. Your marketing, your positioning, your branding, your communication, the packaging, so important, right? So those don't give them a very limited time for your marketing and sales plan. You need to make sure that you're always very clear on how your plan is for marketing, how your planning is good for your sales, and deal customer service. So ineffective marketing plan, that definitely sums up the seven key reasons why business fail. I definitely would want to hear from you on which ones do you think we have left out on this particular list. And like the usual and the norm for the channel is that the top 2 people who send us this feedback very fast will definitely have a business book for you, which will definitely labor to ensure that we deliver to your location. If you give us your details, our team definitely will be able to reach out to give it to you. I'm very excited with this topic because I'm passionate about this. I've passed through this some of these mistakes myself, and I'm very super excited that I've shared that list with you, and I believe maybe 1 or 2 or many will definitely not fall prey of these mistakes, because at least we have had this conversation today. Now, as I sign out, I still say don't forget to subscribe, and as well hit the notification and like button for us to keep on sharing this content with you. But most importantly, as I leave, I say stay grinding, stay hustling, keep it Afrobiz, and see you on the next.